We do not have to find ourselves, a phrase from a few decades ago. We are already right where we belong, emotionally and spiritually. We're always on a growth pattern. We may, however, just need to escape physically from the crowded noise and place ourselves in a position to savor the goodness of the world and to reset ourselves to a grounded place once again. Welcome to Calm in the Chaos, where we know that we don't need to be a certain something or act like a certain something or do certain things to have worth. We are already enough. This idea can trigger anxiety in our minds when we've been taught that our worth equals our productivity. How did these following phrases hit you? Henry David Thoreau wrote, "The really efficient laborer will be found not to crowd his day with work, but will saunter to his task surrounded by a wide halo of ease and leisure." That doesn't sound like the usual American life right now. Or how about this one? A friend chats with you and mentions that he didn't accomplish anything today, just wasted time. I ask you, is it possible to actually waste time? I don't know. Time is one of those things that I don't think I have a lot of control over. It just is. Many cultures honor the need for a slower way of life and a pause in the middle of each day. This habit may stem from a need to avoid the hottest part of the day or where workers go home for lunch, splitting their workday into two shifts, or there may be a cultural or religious reason for a midday break. In some Islamic cultures, we have Kailula. It's a midday brief little nap promoting better health and well being. Siestas are popular in Spain and Mexico, where businesses actually close, allowing time for lunch and a rest. In Italy, this practice is known as riposa, meaning rest. There still is a tea time in England where the business of the day ceases and light fare is served with tea. I've recently adopted a bit of quiet time each day. For me, it's a throwback to my days as a resident girls' camp counselor. After lunch in the dining hall, we would all retreat to our individual unit sites, and the girls were asked to be on their bunks for about 30 minutes every day. Oh, they could play cards or read, but it had to be pretty quiet and they had to be still. Their bodies had to be on their beds still. And after this, we resumed our swimming, hiking, wood gathering, and so forth. My quiet time is in the afternoon, followed by a light snack. Permission to rest is granted to each of you as well. Imagine for a moment that your life is balanced and that you really do have time for self care every day. Imagine that you prioritize yourself and stop sacrificing your own well being for someone else. Imagine that you make your decisions from a place of love and never from a place of fear. Imagine that your daily life aligns with the values you hold in your soul. And now believe that all this can be true because it can be. Finding a rhythm to our days, to our weeks and months and years can help to calm our nervous systems so that it can all be possible. We can balance the resting and the doing. Do we count sitting with a grieving friend as accomplishing something? Do we count reading a book on the patio as wasted time? Do I think we've lost our way in a bit when we judge one another according to what they build or organize or assemble or how many committees they chair or even how many times they volunteer at the hospital or how busy their children are. How do we pull back from this and simply allow one another to be on the planet? Well, when we find our own balance and life rhythm, we can afford then a non judgmental attitude to others. So it starts with each of us personally, not judging a person spending the evening on the front porch in a rocking chair, seemingly doing nothing, not judging another who is stuck in a life transition and cannot move forward, not judging, just loving and accepting. That's what we need to do. An elderly friend says she's not worth anything anymore because she can't do anything. She can no longer see well enough to play cards. She stopped attending church. She needs help cutting her chicken sandwich. First of all, honoring our elders is a topic for another God talk. But this is how her worth is tied up to what she's doing in her mind. She feels she has outlived her usefulness. Now, I get that in a way because my morning prayer each day as I face east while the sun is rising is, God, make me useful today. This certainly implies that I want to make a significant contribution to the world, if even in a teeny way. But is my worth dependent on it? Some days, if I'm feeling particularly vulnerable, yes, reflecting on my usefulness that day gives me a warm heart. Balancing this is the times where I self sequester and live what I call a solo monastic life, days where I see and chat with no one. And this is when I remind myself that I need not do anything to or for someone else to be enough. I don't need to paint the garage door or vacuum the upstairs or bake brownies. I can putter all day, moving to the rhythm of my body and soul, and not feel guilt or shame for spending time just being. I am enough. So are you. Back to our elderly woman who was feeling worthless. In a philosophical way, I wonder if she transcends the material ways in which we sometimes assess worth, and if her life is worth so much more to us in less obvious ways. Is she here to allow us opportunity to be patient? Is her current life all about presenting and inviting us for service? Are her stories valuable living history lessons for all of us? This is what I mean when I say we're all enough right now, in whatever form we present ourselves to the world. There's so much going on under the surface for us to be and feel as though we are valuable children of the universe. When we learn to see one another, not rush by, as happens in the streets of busy cities, but when we can actually feel the presence of another, we acknowledge the person's worth on a spiritual level. They need not do anything. Confucius taught that everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. Let us move towards seeing the beauty in one another, accepting however we show up to one another, and moving with the seasons as naturally as the tides and the trees, both of which follow the rhythms of the day and seasons, but need not do anything to earn the adjectives magnificent and beautiful. Blessings on all. In our culture, there is one topic that seems to be more difficult than any other to discuss with our close friends and our families, and that is dying and death. Each of us will face that at some point in our lives, and our families or close friends will be left with the task of closing up the estate, of simple things like finding the keys to certain things in your life, finding your passwords so that they can close your electric account for your home, finding things in your house like an insurance policy, phone numbers to call certain people. And all of these things can be pre planned, put into what's called a binder that is titled either a death binder or After I'm Gone. Some people use a box. You can buy all these things online if you want to. A box called Next of Kin box, where you organize all your files, your insurance policies, everything that the people are going to need after you have died. And some of the things they're going to need pretty soon while they are experiencing the deepest grief. I want you to watch for future notices of a class that I'm teaching. And it'll be online and in person in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. The class is called After I'm Gone. It's only an hour long. You'll receive a binder with all kinds of information in it and all of the places to just fill out. So you don't have to think of all these things and you won't miss anything. It is the best gift you can give your family. Watch for the future dates coming soon.